A lot can change in 10 years. 10 years ago, I just finished 4 years of fieldwork, camping in remote parts of northern Australia, collecting first-of-its-kind information on our native kangaroos and wallabies of tropical northern Australia. Since then, things have been great for me personally. With the exception of a few grey hairs, life has been good. For our native mammals, unfortunately, things haven't been so good. A lot of our native mammals in northern Australia are now disappearing. That's scary because over the last 200 years, we've already lost over 10% of our native mammals. So to lose any more of our native mammals would be a real tragedy. It's devastating to think that in the next 1 or 2 decades we could lose a whole range of other species, including some of our native wallabies and kangaroos. 10 years down the track, I now want to know how these kangaroos and wallabies of northern Australia are doing. And unfortunately we're hearing from Indigenous communities in particular that some of these species are disappearing, potentially because of inappropriate fire regimes, too many fires and at the wrong time of year, and for some of our smaller wallabies, large numbers of feral cats dining out at their expense. It's hard to imagine losing more of our kangaroo and wallaby species, but of course, without enough information about these species, that's exactly what might happen. So to stop that from happening, we really need to collect new information right now. So what are we going to do about it? In July, my wife and ecologist Jenny Martin and I will pack up the truck and the kids and take off to northern Australia and revisit some of my old study sites to see how the roos are faring.
Euan's dataset is one of the best of its kind in the world. We know so much about both the roos and their habitat across a massive area of Australia from 10 years ago.
It's really rare to have this sort of information, but without it, we'll have no idea why these species are declining. So now we need your help to get back up there and find out what's happening to our kangaroos and wallabies. This is an opportunity that we just cannot afford to miss.
So the plan is to repeat all of the work that we finished 10 years ago. That's going to mean counting roos from the back of the car, doing a whole lot of vegetation mapping, and also collecting roo poos. You'd be amazed how much you can find out from a humble roo poo.
But this time, we're also going to bring along some new technology. We're going to be putting out camera traps, particularly to find smaller wallabies like the spectacled hair wallaby.
Euan and I both also know just how important it is to take every chance we can to talk with the public about the sort of research that we're doing. So our plan is to talk with as many people as we possibly can along the way about the conservation issues that are facing our mammals in northern Australia. So we're going to be writing a blog from the field. You'll see exactly what we're doing, flies and all. We'll go on the radio whenever we can, whatever we can do to spread the word about what's happening to our mammals.
Because the reality is, the only way we're going to change the situation is if people know about it. And if people know about it, they'll care about it. And then together we can hopefully change the situation. With your generous support, we'll be able to hire a 4-wheel drive to undertake this important work, including also buying the camera traps we need to find these rare wallabies.
Please help us conserve Australia's iconic northern kangaroos and wallabies.
Please support our Big Roo Count.